Hello, everybody, and welcome to another one in our series, Breaking Down Barriers. My name is Chris Igwe, and I share with you in these short videos thoughts and ideas inspired by my book, which in this case is entitled Breaking Down Barriers, My Journey from a Small African Village to the World Stage. I take a chapter, I explain to you what the title is, and then I give you my thoughts and ideas, which hopefully will resonate with you in your own life, and you can use them in a way in which you build up your own relationships with that particular topic or idea that I share. In this session, we're going to talk about one which I'm very passionate about, which is called Be Strategic. That's the title of the chapter, Be Strategic. Now, before you switch off and you say, I'm not strategic, I don't know what strategy means, I have no interest in it at all, I encourage you to stay with me because I'm going to make it as simple as I possibly can, which is why I've made this book a simple book to read. It's not for intellectuals, although you can intellectualize it if you want, but it's more about helping provide the building blocks around what I mean. So in a very simple case, being strategic for me, and I put it to you to consider it this way as well, it's about you have a plan, I'm sure. Well, maybe you don't, in which case you need to, a plan around your life. You have a plan about where you want to be. Maybe you're at the beginning of that journey. Let's say you're leaving school or university or college or a training program, and at some stage in the future, you would like to be an entrepreneur, run your own business, become a CEO, become a managing director, build a project in this part of the world or any other part of the world. So whatever it is that you have for yourself, what I'm saying is when you are strategic about it, when you build, if you like, a plan around it, it becomes so much easier for you to navigate the things that you're not going to expect, which is life. Things that are just going to come at you from nowhere. Be strategic. The reason I say this is because for me, I love strategy. I love strategy in terms of navigating the waters of getting through or climbing mountains or crossing rivers or whatever metaphor you want to use. There are going to be things that are going to hold you back, that are going to disappoint you. People will disappoint you. Situations will disappoint you. You miss out on that promotion. You miss out on that increase in bonus or salary or whatever it happens to be. Is that the end of your world? No, it's not. These are just things which are saying to you how badly do you want to get to that goal, that place that you see which is yours and you want to own, or you want to plant that flag saying this is my place. So maybe it's the first point is to say, what kind of a future do you want to have? Or what kind of a future are you looking to have? Whether for yourself, your family, your kids, your parents. What is that? That's one of the first questions that you have to look at. You see, and I have quotes in my books, and this one is by Pablo Picasso, and he says, our goals can only be reached through the vehicle of a plan. There is no other route to success. I'll say that again. Our goals can only be reached through the vehicle of a plan. There is no other route to success. You see, whatever success looks like for you, and for some people, it's just raising a beautiful family. For some people, it's having amazing, loving friends around them. But for others, it's about climbing a career mountain. For others, it's sporting achievements, whatever it happens to be. It's about creating a plan as to how you're going to get there. How are you going to build that plan? And that is what this Be Strategic is about. It's how are you going to build that plan that takes you and navigates you from one place to another. See, not everybody thinks in a strategic manner, but I want you to start to think that way. Like, if I do A, what happens here? If I do B, what happens here? If I go down that path, what are the consequences? If I go down this path, is it better that I went down that one? I don't know, but you're getting to see what I'm talking about. It's how you build this image around where you want to be. Let me give you, I'd say, a very simple example as well. Let's take business. You want to become a manager, maybe in the company that you're already in, maybe in another company, but let's just stay where you are today. You have a role, you have a function, but you want to become manager or become director or whatever it happens to be. There are certain questions that you're going to have to ask yourself. In no order necessarily, but first is, what skill do I need to have to become a manager, to have that position and that role? What skill? What do you think is the skill needed? If you don't know, go research it. If you don't know, ask the person who has that position, or in some other company or some other business. What is the skill that's needed to be a manager in this company or that function doing that? Then you need to say to yourself, how will I be able to acquire that skill? That's another question. How do you acquire that skill? Do you have to go to train, to learn, to study, online evening classes, whatever it happens to be? What is it that you need to learn? How many years is another question. Will it take you, do you think, to get to that position that you want to get to? Do you understand what that manager actually does? Does he or she put in longer hours? Maybe that's not a good reason. Maybe they're not very efficient. Maybe it's just a very big job. Doesn't matter. Is it because you want the salary? That could be another perfectly reasonable reason for doing it. But then you have to ask yourself other questions. By having that position, what sacrifices do I have to make to get there? And with those sacrifices, am I prepared to make those sacrifices? So I know what they are. Am I prepared to make them? Two very different things. So you see how we're drilling down into all these questions? That's what being strategic is about. It's about saying, I want that, but here are the steps. I want that, here are the consequences. I want that, here are the opportunities. Each of these build into the thought process. So how much time and effort are you willing to put into it to get to that success, to get to that level that you've positioned yourself for? These are all the fundamental things. So when I say be strategic, I'm not taking this big fancy word and using it. Yeah, there are many different ways in which you can talk about being strategic or addressing strategy. But if you like, to make it easy, it's just like Picasso said, it's about a plan. What is that plan? What does it look like? Break it down into as many pieces that you need to. So everything that I do is strategic. Everything I do on behalf of the family is strategic. And the reason I say that is because, for example, I have, back in the day when I was in corporate, I would get called regularly by headhunters, top headhunters, the top 5 in the world, and then the odd one here or there, because I had global positions or international roles, and I was always highly sought after. And I turned down 2 phenomenal global positions with 2 separate headhunters and 2 separate companies, 2 separate brands. Retail is my background, retail real estate and retail brands. Both were global positions. They would literally have catapulted me into, I don't know, well, firstly, respect, success. Not that I didn't have respect or success, but it was a whole different level. Both of these brands, and this is many years ago now, but both of these brands are even more successful today than they were back in that time. But these were global roles and global positions. But in each case I turned them down. In one case, I turned the CEO down. He personally called me, said, the board loves you. This is yours to take. What do you want? Money, stock options, cars, the whole. I said, no, thank you very much. I'm grateful, but no, for different reasons, which is not today's conversation. Another brand, it would have been an incredible position. Today, they are one of the most successful brands on the planet. I'm sure I would have journeyed with them all this time and grown even more successful, earned more and all the rest of it, but I turned it down. The headhunter was shocked. He was a senior partner. He said, why would you turn it down? Why would you not come and at least have the conversation? I said, no. I don't want to have the conversation. I'm very grateful I've been called. I'm very grateful for this opportunity, but I don't want to take up the interview. I was very clear. Do I regret it? Absolutely not. Neither of them. In one of my previous videos, you would have heard me talk about regrets. I have no regrets. I don't regret any choice or decision that I've made. Some have not been the best ones, but I've learned them from them. Some have been fantastic, and I've learned even more from those. So my point to you is that strategy it's about you being in control insofar as you can of the process that you set yourself out to do, to drive you towards this plan, to be successful where you want to be. You define success, and you define what that success looks like for you and for your family as well. So I encourage you very strongly to think about how to be even more strategic than you are. And sometimes it's hard to do it on your own. You need to have a coach or a mentor, someone who you can bounce the thoughts and ideas off, who listens to you, because at the end of the day, the decisions that you make are your own. Make no mistake about that. Nobody else can be blamed for any choice or decision that you make if it's not the right one. If it's the right one and you've listened to your coach and your mentor, then fantastic. Give them a big hug, a big kiss, whatever. They've obviously helped you and you've listened to them. So you can give yourself a kiss because you've listened to them in terms of them helping you on this journey. So maybe not everybody can do it on their own, but if you at least lay out these questions that I've given you, go back over this video, stop it every time and just note down what those questions are. Build those questions into your modus operandi, into the way you function, the way you think. Think about different building blocks, different ways of getting to where you want to. And I can guarantee that it'll make a huge, huge difference for you. I hope this has left you with some thoughts and ideas on how to be strategic or to become even more strategic. Or if you don't know how to be strategic, ask someone who can help you. Feel free to like, comment, and share, and of course come back for more in terms of this particular book and the things I share around breaking down barriers. So until the next time, thank you.